Isaiah's Lord of NBA Hosts Parable, the first collection of writings, chapters 1 through 4. Chapter 1. These are the words of the blessing of Isaiah, by which he was blessed, numbered among the elect and justified, who foreseeing the day of tribulation forsook all of his sins, renouncing and denouncing all the wicked and godless, unto whom it is unbeknownst the acceleration of both vision and prophecy, as unto the very fulfillment thereof, even unto the very day of the great separation, where at that time they shall become as wood afore the furnace, by sovereign decree appointed for complete and utter removal. For it is even the time of the very vintage afore the great gleaning, when the wheat and the tares hath reached final maturity. This is the consummation of the age, predestined afore the foundation of the world by Yahusha, as a witness of that which even now already is. Isaiah shall give his account and answer unto Elohim, thus declaring this testament, which concerneth all that he saw come to pass, whiles the eyes of his Ruach were yet opened. For to perceive in the Ruach by the Ruach, a holy vision, that which El Yahusha Adoni Tsevaoth alone couldst reveal unto me, from whence beheld I all that I wouldst later consider with insight, first dimly, then also in fullness, that I mayest behold an end of all flesh, things not for a remote people, yet a far off, nor a distant generation which is for to come, but yea, for this final generation, on account of true Yasharel, who by name are called the elect of Yahushakana, whose name is jealous. Therefore upon our account didst I proceed for to write, and yea, upon communing with him, and upon inquiring of him, was I shown a parable as in a solemn express similitude, namely a doxology filled with great praise, as a blessing which toucheth both heaven and earth, expressly that which appertaineth unto Yahusha Hanilkam V'Hamenatziach Tamid Eloivav, Yahusha the sovereign Elohim, who thus declareth, I am the sovereign Lord, the Almighty Savior, I that am glorious in mine apparel, traversing in the greatness of my strength, I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. For I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there is none with me. For I do trod them in mine anger, trampling them in my fury. And their blood is thus sprinkled upon my garments, staining all my raiment. As it is also written, I will remember the mercies of the Lord, then the praises of the Lord, according to all that the Lord hath bestowed upon us, and the great goodness toward the house of Yasharel, which he hath given us according to his tender mercies, and according to the multitude of his loving kindnesses. For he said, surely they are my people, children that will not lie. So he became our Savior. Therefore the Almighty shall soon depart from his lofty majestic throne, our great and eternal Eloah, who sitteth betwixt the cherubim. From his high holy habitation he cometh down with great zeal, to repay as a thief in the night, yea, even by an untimely visitation, for to execute vengeance upon his league. For with great zeal, and for his high holy name's sake, he maketh the condemned an open spectacle of the righteous judgment, that he mayest quench the raging flames of his fierce and fiery indignation. For the Lord, by the slain of his sword, even by the word of his mouth, as by the breath of his lips, upbraideth and uprooteth all the rebellious, all they who in futility doth imagine vain things against him. For by unquenchable fire he adjudicates, and all onlookers do tremble. Thus shalt he ease himself of all his adversaries, that in that day, and from thenceforth he alone is crowned Melech Melechim Va'adon Adoniim, which is to be interpreted, Yahusha El Shaddai, the King of kings and Lord of lords, for he is the originator and maker of all the players and of the onlookers and of the league and of all they that do contend therein. Yea, he shall very shortly hereafter tread upon the highly exalted courts of the league, as he reveals himself with his mighty hosts, by name, who are the select elect of his aforechosen and elite company of the overcoming and overachieving all-stars. Yea, that his fame wouldst be made known throughout all the earth, even as his great power reveals him as most high. Thus all are sore afraid. The onlookers also art weighed down beneath a heavy and burdensome stone. For in that day, saith Yahweh Sebaoth, shall it be revealed unto them as the rock of offense, and unto all they that do offend, who encompasseth, yea, wholly gathered round about, is set forth a cup of much fear and of great trembling. But unto the elect, who of the league art besieged, the Lord makes himself known unto us as the rock of defense. For great trembling doth perpetually seize all onlookers, even unto the uttermost ends of the league. The lights hath gone out. The bulbs, too, art withdrawn of their fluorescent shining. The whole league loudly waileth, yea, a most bitter, doleful lamentation. For the Lord doth utter his voice with a great and tumultuous shout. The high rims shall be made low, each and every rim and backboard wholly rent asunder. The whole league is utterly astonished at this very horrific sight and the sounds of the ensuing calamities thereof. For calamity upon calamity doth come upon all, even as travail cometh upon a woman with child, wherein none shall escape. For all that therein is becometh naught. Yea, they becometh as though they hadst never been, and the league shall be fully immersed, and all that therein is will perish. For fierce rebuke is poured out upon all onlookers, upon the players, upon the coaches, upon the referees, upon the entire league, yea, even upon the very commissioner appointed over the league thereof. For the Lord enters into judgment with them, even as he entereth into Jerusalem, in unto his holy courts. Therein his set apart borders in the land of Yasharel. For in that day he shall rule with what is even as unto a rim's rod of iron, yea, forever and ever in the majesty of his great glory. For he would hath recovered all that is his, and shall make us fully satiate, and we shall become abundantly blessed. For the splendor of Yahweh shall shine forth, as he doth smile upon us forevermore, yea, even as he shineth brightly forever and ever through, and upon the countenance of his elect one. For behold, El Yahushua cometh in the clouds, with clouds upon clouds. He cometh in vengeance for to cut off all the dwellers of the land of Idumea. For by his sword, which is bathed in heaven, and by unquenchable fire, shall that day come swiftly upon all those of Yahweh's curse, they who being greatly despised are least among the Gentiles. What is that fragrant savor? And it is a sweet offering arisen unto our eternal Eluah. For an evening oblation is offered up unto him in that day of thick darkness. As it is written, the lion is come up from his thicket, and the destroyer of the Gentiles is on his way. He is gone forth from his place to make thy land wholly desolate. And thy cities shall be laid waste, without inhabitant. For even unto Idumea is this, a very horrific calamity foreseen. Yea, it is Yahusha's sacrifice in Botzrah, yea, a great slaughter in the land of Idumea, even a great banquet, a summoning of the king's guests, as a gathering of ripened clusters from a most ready and choice vine. Yea, it is prepared, even a final supper by our Adoni Yahusha in the valley of hosts, the flesh of them that didst only always wholly oppress continually with an endless stroke. Even all they that dwell in the land therein, yea, both man and beast, art utterly overtaken, to the end that all which remaineth be perpetually cut off by slaughter. Esau, O Esau, mine beloved brother, hath not that day come upon thee as a thief in the night? Thou art made an utter waste for thy lies and thy deception. For thou in unrighteousness hast hidden the truth of our Elua's true elect, and is anointed beneath the clefts of the rocks. For thou hast used underhanded schemes, withholding the just wages of the slave laborers who built unto the heavens the lavishness of thy heaping. Yea, for in thy blood guiltiness thou hast led captive into all countries, whithersoever El Yahuwah hath driven us. Thus all thy lovers art bereft, and left destitute because of thy wicked counsel and bloodshed. There is now therefore no turning back, for lo, the books are opened. And as the brotherly covenant which thou hast forsaken, the seals are broken, as the last trumpet soundeth a final alarm of war. That which was concealed of old in the secret counsels of Teman is now easily spotted out. O Mount of Seir, hear ye the word of Yahuwah, there is none soundness in thee. Therefore all thy posterity and all they who tremble because of thee are fast bound with thee therein thine perpetual fate, Esau, O Esau, at the time when all nations be utterly consumed by our almighty sovereign Elua Sevaoth. O thou that hissest with the hiss of him who hissed in the earlobe of Chua, now thou art perished by the brotherly hatred of Cain, who from the beginning deceived. And as for the wickedness of the house of Yehuda, thy beloved brother, even the whole house of Jacob, didst we go wholly unpunished? Nay, El forebode, for Yahuwah Tzedekenu is righteous in all of his ways and doings. Therefore shalt thou weep in the secret places of the earth, as Sheol rejoiceth at thy descent therein. Esau, O Esau, and thy posterity, O Edom, and all whom thou hast deceived. Yet shall we rejoice in the day of the righteous retribution. Yet first shall we weep bitterly unto Yahuwah Sevaoth, that peradventure he wouldst make haste our salvation, even on account of our sake. Therefore weep, O ye people of Seir. Yet praise ye Yahuwah, O ye inhabitants and congregants of Sion, for Yahusha hath set the captives free. Rejoice, and again I do say, be exceeding glad, for he hath dealt righteously, even the just vindication meet unto all the earth. For in that day have we seen the salvation and the glory of Yahuwah, as he prospereth us in the day of the doom of Idumea, even as it was in the day appointed for the destruction of all nations. For behold, the Ruach Chen V'Tachanunium hath been poured out upon us in the midst of our great peril, yea, even in the season wherein for long duration the rod of chastisement hath not ceased, but hath sorely corrected and humbled us. Therefore sing Yahushana, ye poor and contrite of Ruach. Yea, play a new song upon the piped instruments. For he hath bestowed a new blessing from up above, and now walking among us forevermore is our great and almighty Savior, he who is faithful and true, he who is clothed in glory, even the glory of his crimson-stained apparel. Thus is the book of the Lord's rest, which containeth the writings wherewith he shall shortly cause the weary to rest, and the very refreshing thereof as it shall be made known unto them. Yet in this day have we heard with an open ear the promises that proceed from on high. For we shall have hearkened unto the word of Yahuwah, which in times past came unto our fathers by the law, and by the prophets whom he raised up, whose mouths spake the oracles of El in purity, uncorrupted and steadfast in the fear of the Most High. And they, without guile or dissimulation, didst faithfully forewarn us, saying, because of our stubbornness and our obstinance of heart, we should surely be cut off. Yea, scattered abroad and taken captive out of our land, and be made as the offscouring and refuse of the earth among the nations. Yea, trodden under foot by all peoples, unto whom El Yahuwah delivered us to serve. Left destitute and forsaken, without hope, abiding in a state of want and sorrow, even as home-born slaves that sigh for deliverance. For it is our crushed souls who hath sinned against our Adoni Eluah. Nevertheless the time cometh, and now is, that our enemies and oppressors shall behold the work of Yahusha el Hamashiach, who ariseth for to execute terribly his vengeance upon the earth. Yea, they are they whose blood shall stain his garments as crimson upon raiment once pure and white. For thus is the day of his vengeance, and the year of our redemption shall not tarry. Behold, our salvation is very nigh to come. Chapter 2. Now there was a war in the league. Michael and his team battled against the serpent, and the Mamba waged war with his team, but he prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in the league for him. And the serpent was defeated, that black serpent, as is named also Kobe or Mamba out, which in the Ivri tongue is called the supplanting serpent. He who leadeth all his followers downward with him, deep in unto the heart of the pit. Then wherefore hast thou said in thine heart, I shall ascend above the top of the league. I shall exalt my throne above all the all-stars of the Lord. For thou hast said, I shall sit enthroned upon the mount of Rushmore, beyond the clouds, up above the host of the all-stars, inducted there into the hall of fame, engraved in like manner thereupon memory lane. Yea, I shall ascend above the heights of the league's greatest. I shall be like the Most High. I shall be like the Lord. Yea, I shall be most high. Yet hast thou been brought down to hell, thither to the sides of the pit. For lo, I beheld Mamba out. Didst he hiss with an exceeding great hissing, thus saying unto his seed, Indeed, indeed, my very seed, it hath come to pass, that the woman and her seed hath sacrificed us. To the flames of perdition at once we hath bust. In separate chambers of darkness do I likewise lament the exchange for greatness. Indeed, I do repent, never to return, whereby I cry, Mamba out, Lord, I do repent. Why, oh why, didst I not hearken within? Now as I wail in anguish, doth also mine conscience languish. With open confession, the meaninglessness of my most desired profession. In the first manner do I also confess, and as in John 1 and 20, denying not but wholeheartedly confessing, it was not worth it. The NBA lie, whereby cried, O thou most high, again I shall fly, above the stars of God, even thy great and mighty hill. Yet in the year of his 24, hardened I also mine stiff-necked heart. As in the day of the final visitation lays mine final memory, that memory being the rim and backboard, wholly rent asunder as in the days of Dawkins, as also afore Connie Hawkins, didst I also foresee from the rugged terrain of Mount Matumbo, which set forth as a stumbling block, swatting left and right as a rock of defense. For only thou knowest, Lord, surely he hadst none offense. Yet the dream triumphed over Kareem with or without magic, setting forth an ensample of unmatched footwork, as David too went dancing down the lane of the league's final defeat. And as in the days of the round mound of rebound, so shalt there be men of old, likewise renowned. So too didst he suffer the defeat as the playoff series began to drown. Behold the dream, who being fervently non-assuming, the defense wondering next which hand was looming. The most trustworthy teammate asked Chuck or Kenny, in like manner, Shaq or Penny, Well, lo, I do not lie, not Shaq nor Penny, thus lied I again. For lo, as down below I am the penny, someone please help my burning soul. I do beg, for I am the penny, for the pride of my heart hath deceived me. Shaq, come, save me. O thou useless slobber, deflecting the blame as unto a thief and a robber. Now in sorrow and in pain doth the woman travail, just to bring forth what wouldst throw me in jail. After death indeed is the judgment. The worst of it all is what shall pursue me next. Just as the 13th day of 20 too passed, didst the widow too pass. And with prayer, fasting, and holy oblations didst she accomplish the plan to raise up the man. I indeed cannot stand, for he shall be known as the Lamb over all the league. Thus the God of Larry B., because mine attempt to make exempt any conversation,
For greatest of all time is the ceiling as the floor. In the same manner his ceiling the ceiling, which knoweth no end. Then didst the Ruach Yahweh depart me out of Sheol immediately as the serpent spake his final words. And heard I from afar off thus what was said as Michael brought me out of perdition unto earth. Whereas Kobe also cried, I dropped the mic indeed. Yea, because I hath sold up and likewise sold out, who shall dish the assist? And with the game of games on the line unto judgment day, O Andrew Bynum, thou shalt indeed repay. For it is thy determination to see sinners repay the meet reward, just like opening day, whereby thou sayest, O thou black mamba, lo, behold, I am Zay, for I beheld thy wounded right hand, yet believed it not. How foolish of me! For by thy right hook Leviathan is caught, if for no other reason of the Ruach art thou taught. My soul is sold unto the left hand of thought. The league this day unto all humanity be made known. By the black serpent shall all players fail, following my footsteps steep down this jail. The league soon shall no blacks be allowed, as by I, Mamba, out, never back allowed, yet behold it is, for that is it. Shall I wail in these uttermost parts, O humanity, not to come hither hell's flaming prison bars? What looms is next, the final fruit. Thus, in my forbidden abiding, hath I made the lake of fire mine everlasting abode. The just recompense for it is exactly that. Yea, help pluck this helicopter out of the burn. For yea, he doth burn me with the word, which is Yahusha Hamashiach. From whence are what hell's flames doth kindle me too burned. Help, my soul have I given up as unto a temporary holding place, which being of everlasting naught. The sacrificial father of the money exchangers, that very temple of wickedness as abomination dangers. My eternal hopelessness is all the more increased, lest I should have decreased to reap the hope of increase. So here is the story of once championship glory. O earth, earth, hear me. In words cannot justly display its glory. Chapter 3. Then continued Isaiah his express similitude, thus saying, For appertaineth to the hierarchy, Isaiah Thomas is the lamb of the NBA. For Isaiah Lord Thomas III hath both glorified it, and will yet glorify it again. Michael is his archangel, as a servant attending on the right hand. For Lord foreknew he wouldest not go left. In the beginning the Lord made all things NBA, that the all-stars of NBA hosts wouldest do his bidding. Now the black serpent, which is as unto the devil and Satan, he who fell from greatness as he attempted to get to the very top, that being above the all-stars of God. Thus waged he war against Lord Thomas, and thus battled Michael, in accordance with the process of new season, as at the beginning of the year 1990 and 6, as to see whose league it truly belongeth to. Yet here also is what he found. Now came it to pass, as if there was the day when the heirs of their Lord came to present themselves before Lord Thomas. And the Mamba came also among them to present himself before him. And Lord Thomas said unto the black serpent, From whence comest thou? And the black serpent answered and said, From going to and fro in the league, and from scouting up and down in it. And Lord Thomas said unto him, Hast thou considered my servant Michael, that there is none like him in all the league, a perfect and an outstanding player, one that feareth me, and one that escheweth going left? And still he holdeth fast the integrity of his game, although thou movest me against him to injure him without cause. And the black serpent answered and said, MVP trophy for MVP trophy. Yea, all that an NBA player hath will he give for an NBA championship. But put forth thine hand now, and flagrantly foul him, and he will mock thee to thy face. And Lord Thomas said unto the Mamba, Behold, he is in thine hand, but save thou his legacy. So went the black serpent forth from the presence of Lord Thomas, and Michael was tempted to only go left according to the word of the Lord. For is it not written therein that which symbolically is to be called the manual on Michael? as in this realm most prominently called Isaiah's Playbook, according to Jordan Rules, chapter 4. Moreover, amongst the progeny of men, down below, as in this very firmament found striving under the heavens, considered I also another, also true sorrow as of similar sorts. What if I told thee the most unappreciated and unrecognized of their field oft time art devoid of honor by the very ones unto whom they were sent? For in him they seek for fault where there is none. Where there is strength it is made of none effect. Where there is weakness they glorify in it, that by juxtaposition their inherent flaws art kept in the covert. So they glorify me not to prosper, but they glory in the day as of mine defeat. The defense and the offense are as one body against me. It is as a game of 1 on 9, yet I shine. And though they divine false calls against me, Yahuwah Tsevaoth is mine heavenly referee. Yea, he calleth the shots, each miss and make doth he dictate. Although I dream shake a miss just to badly miss, and though the point guard shields not his disdain, as I drive down the lane into a wall of defenders, Yahuwah mine heavenly referee giveth me the benefit of the doubt. The defense and the offense are subtly of synonymous clout as they complain and shout round about. But lo, am I their enemy? Nay, El forbid, for Yahuwah, who never sleepeth nor slumbereth, hath never missed a call, as some men count lack of transparency. He is faithful and just, and doeth not iniquity. His name is Yahusha Tsedek, the Lord of justice. Win or lose, the results remain clear. The year of his redeemed is ever so near. Even as I came unto mine own, and they received me not. Though we are of the same vicinity, and oft-time kindred, yet hast thou rejected me. Diligently make I available innumerable benefits of both mine might and stature. Though I jump not to rebound that which returneth unto me as void, still I put it back into the bank for a basket. When I miss, thou sayest unto me, Why missed thou on account of both thine might and stature? If in return I say unto thee, Why missed thou thy defensive assignments in hopes of me to recover thee in grace and mercy, whilst mine assigned adversary is not in like manner dormant? Yet thou still deflect, and even in doing so, making railing accusations. Then hath it come to pass that I departed from the midst of your ungrateful hearts, and was found of them that sought me not, with hope that when I return to thee, O my people, thou wouldst recognize me, that thou wouldst see the salvation of Yahuwah. Yea, this, that thou wouldest befriend me, Josias. From time to time thou wouldst sing Hoshiana, blessed be the rock. Oftentimes thou wouldest crucify me, only for me to resurrect in the glory of Yahuwah El Shaddai. Then have I journeyed to many places, and have found acceptance in them. They sing, Blessed be Bynum, for he hath great might and power, according to he who liveth forever and ever. Their hearts are flooded with gladness at mine appearing. Yet when I return unto thee, O my people, ye condescend when I choke. Yea, as I eat the barbecue chicken in the fields of the forest with gladness, seek ye a pretext that I mayest vomit it out. Though ye say mine advantage is unfair, thy impudence waileth a cry of loud subordination. Yet as ye insubordinately ponder in mine courts amongst yourselves, who is worthy to sit next to the league's greatest, the throne of the Mount of Rushmore, I say unto you, who is it that shall ascend in unto that great and mighty hill? The league is mine, and the players therein, the coaches and commissioner thereof. For it hath been founded upon the Lake of Michigan, and finalized in 1996. Moreover, I say, who hath ascended into my subdued hill, or unto whom hath been permitted permission as to stand in the presence of the leagues most high? For is it likewise not written, Who shall ascend into the hill of Yahuwah, or who shall stand in his holy place? He that hath clean hands and a pure heart, who hath not lifted up his soul unto vanity, nor sworn deceitfully. He shall receive the blessing from Yahuwah, and righteousness from the Eluah of his salvation. This is the generation of them that seek him, that seek thy face, O Jacob, Selah.
And as in direct accord with this express similitude shall it then come to pass that Yahusha, mine Elua, the Elua over all of Yashareel, shall establish his kingdom on earth. Then in him will mine lamentation be turned into triumph. Moreover, it shall come to pass in that day, the 13th year journeyman from the Bronx, who, wherein, as in this proverb, hath it formerly been said, canst anything good come forth from the Bronx? Yea, shall it be made known as least acknowledged, most beloved. The Lamb over all the league, for the goats hath been separated by the angels, and thus are no more remembered, because Yah hath both spoken it, and will perform it in his season. For the Lord hath founded the league by his playbook. Afore the foundations thereof, there was still darkness, as upon the face of the deep of the great lake. He opened his mouth to speak all things therein into being. The league and all they that do contend therein are they which do the Lord's bidding. All the all-stars are subject to his word. Therefore he hath said, Kiss the Son, lest he be angry, and ye perish from the way, when his wrath is kindled but a little. Yet to his beloved come, you who are blessed by my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. Say unto the uttermost ends of the league, The Lord is our rock of offense, and we are the firstfruits of his increase. All that devour us hath offended. Evil is come upon all the nations, in the day when he returns by way of untimely visitation. Unto the uttermost ends of the league, and the highly exalted places thereof say unto them, The Lord is also a rock of defense to both houses, both in the day of the siege and now forever and evermore. Therefore only he alone can save us with salvation from the harsh defensive onslaught of the teams of nations which do offend. For Yahusha is the undefeated victor, though he hath never lost in battle. No one can guard him as in the day of his flight. Down the lane he goeth between the defense, he descends upon the rim, thus shattering each and every rim and backboard. Yea, wholly rent asunder is down below, for the day of the Lord is near upon all confederacies. So also unto the teams of the league thereof, as expressly by reason that thou hast rejected me with great betrayal, as in the garden. Yet say ye, Wherein hath we betrayed thee, and hath sold thee out, in that you have traded me out as worthless, and for ransom, that ye mayest obtain gold, yea, even and be a championship gold. And thus came it to pass, that I was traded away, cut off from my league as one from the land of the living, that my tenure was cut short, and career struck down because the conspiracy of teams as of nations, to the end that, and unto the very pursuit thereof, that I wouldest make the return of returns, yea, even return in great glory, for to execute vengeance upon this league. Yea, and in the glory of Yahusha's kingdom shall it be made known as Lord of Enbia hosts. Yea, for I, even I, have seen expressly from Adoni Yahusha el Hamashiach his promises, that he alone hath both spoken it and will perform it in renewed season.